Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the country's troops are still fighting for the city of Bakhmut, but could pull out if they risked being cut off. Zelensky said it's important for him not to lose soldiers. The battle for Bakhmut has become one of the bloodiest and longest battles since the Russian invasion began. The city has been reduced to ruins. However, Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister has said that the situation is completely under control despite Russian attacks. Russia has said its troops shot down Ukrainian drones and missiles. Ukraine claims that its forces repelled Russian attacks in various directions. Russia continued attacks in Donetsk, Kherson and other regions. Russia says it has downed one MiG-29 airplane of the Ukrainian Air Force and 13 US high-mobility artillery rocket systems. Zelensky is on a trip to Poland. He said that the country would help form a coalition of Western powers to supply warplanes to Ukraine. Zelensky said that Russia would not defeat Europe while Ukraine and Poland are working closely together. The Polish president has said that Russia has committed war crimes in Ukraine, which must be punished. Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko to Moscow. The two leaders steered clear of making public remarks on the war in Ukraine. The meeting comes days after Putin announced that he will place some of Russia's tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus and close to NATO borders. Minsk is one of Moscow's closest allies. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to US President Joe Biden about the war in Ukraine. The two leaders called upon Russia to release a Wall Street Journal reporter who was arrested. The reporter is a US citizen. Russia's security service arrested the reporter and accused him of gathering information that was a state secret. The reporter has denied allegations of spying. French President Emmanuel Macron met Chinese Premier Li Qiang. This came on the second day of his state visit to China. Macron highlighted that Europe must resist reducing trade and diplomatic ties with Beijing. Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen are all set to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. US House Speaker Kevin McCarthy met Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen in the US state of California. The meeting took place despite threats from China. The two leaders discussed mutual support and cooperation between US and Taiwan. In August last year, former US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had visited the island. The move had angered China. Taiwan's defense ministry has said that a Chinese anti-submarine helicopter and 3 warships have been detected around the island. This comes after Tsai Ing-wen's meeting with Kevin McCarthy. China had threatened the two leaders against meeting each other. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council has accused Beijing of obstructing trade in the Taiwan Strait. The foreign ministers of Iran and Saudi Arabia met in Beijing. They discussed steps towards opening embassies and consulates of the two countries. In March this year, Tehran and Riyadh announced their decision to restore ties which were severed 7 years ago. Under the agreement, the two sides are to open their embassies and missions within 2 months and implement security and economic cooperation deals. Former US President Donald Trump has called for slashing funding for the US Justice Department and the FBI. This comes one day after Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. In the past, Republicans have supported robust funding for law enforcement agencies. They've also criticized proposals to defund local police departments. A 25-year-old man armed with an axe attacked children at a preschool in Brazil's Santa Catarina. 4 children have been killed, while 4 have been injured. The attacker has been arrested. Brazilian President Lula da Silva has called the attack a monstrosity. The incident comes a week after a 13-year-old stabbed a teacher to death in a school in Sao Paulo. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has testified in a controversial gift case. Authorities are investigating jewelry and gifts given to Bolsonaro and his wife by the King of Saudi Arabia in 2021. One of the jewelry sets was valued at more than $3 million. It was seized by customs officials from a government aide who was returning from Saudi Arabia. Bolsonaro maintains he did nothing wrong by receiving the gifts. Palestinians protested against clashes that broke out in the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Demonstrators waved Hamas flags, carried placards, and burned tires. According to the Israeli police, dozens of people brought rocks and fireworks into the mosque and tried to barricade themselves in the premises. France is bracing for another day of protests and strikes against the pension reform bill. This comes as talks between the French government and unions ended in a deadlock. The pension reform bill aims to increase the retirement age from 62 years to 64 years. The government has argued that the reform is necessary to prevent the pension system from plunging into deficit. A protest broke out in Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. Protesters demanded better jobs and voiced resentment against a deal with the International Monetary Fund. They held up signs that read, "Wages equal to the price of basic goods." Organizers have said they are planning more marches in the month of May. More than 4,000 migrants are trapped between the Sahara and the Sahel deserts in Africa. This comes as hundreds of migrants are being turned away from Algeria and are ending up in Asamaka. It's a town in the western African country of Niger. The transit center run by the International Organization for Migration is overwhelmed by the influx of migrants. Five people have been killed in a tornado that ripped through the U.S. state of Missouri. Five people have also been injured. 87 structures have been damaged, 12 buildings have been destroyed. This comes days after violent tornadoes struck the American South and Midwest. At least 32 people have been killed due to the tornadoes across the region. A tornado has also hit the U.S. state of Iowa. Many parts of the country are witnessing severe thunderstorms. The National Weather Service has warned of possible hail and lightning. Authorities in Colombia have urged people living near the Nevado del Ruiz volcano to evacuate. This comes after a surge in seismic activity. Last week, the government raised the volcano's alert level to orange. This indicates a heightened chance of eruption in the coming days or weeks. Some residents have complied with the warning, while others have refused to leave. A new study has found that ice sheets can collapse into the ocean faster than recorded before. It can happen in spurts of up to 600 meters a day. Scientists have pointed out that the findings are a warning from the past for today's world, in which the climate crisis is eroding ice sheets. They said that some ice sheets in Antarctica could witness periods of rapid collapse in the near future. International law enforcement agencies have seized a sprawling dark web marketplace popular with cybercriminals. This is according to Britain's National Crime Agency. The marketplace has been seized in a multinational crackdown dubbed Operation Cookie Monster. The NCA estimates that the service hosted about 80 million credentials and digital fingerprints. These were stolen from more than 2 million people. Amazon has announced that it will be laying off more than 100 employees from its gaming division. The recent announcement of layoffs are part of the company's broader cutbacks. They're set to impact employees from its Prime Gaming, Game Growth, and the company's San Diego studio. Amazon Games VP Christoph Hartmann has written a memo to staff revealing these job cuts. FedEx has announced it will combine its express and ground delivery units into a single entity. The move comes as FedEx looks to slim its bloated infrastructure and better compete with rivals UPS and Amazon. The new streamlining effort is expected to start in June 2024. It's part of a wider plan by FedEx to cut $4 billion in costs by the end of its 2025 financial year. The head of Walt Disney's streaming entertainment unit, Michael Paul, is leaving the company after 6 years. The unit includes platforms like Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN+. Joe Early, the current president of Hulu, will take over as president of streaming for Disney Entertainment. Paul's exit comes amidst an ongoing restructuring by CEO Bob Iger. Iger has promised to cut $5.5 billion in costs to make the company's streaming business more profitable. Swiss lender UBS has said it can make its unexpected takeover of rival Credit Suisse pay off for its shareholders. The comments were made as UBS executives sought to calm investors at an annual general meeting on Wednesday. The deal marked the biggest bank rescue since the 2008 global financial crisis. Goldman Sachs has been fined $3 million for various reporting lapses. The fine was imposed by Wall Street's self-funded watchdog, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, or FINRA. FINRA has said that Goldman Sachs has been fined for mislabeling nearly 60 million short sell orders as long and related supervision failures. From October 2015 to April 2018, the company mismarked orders totaling more than 14 billion shares. The U.S. Transportation Department has imposed a $135,000 penalty on British Airways over a 2017 tarmac delay. The carrier has been fined after it failed to ensure the timely deplaning of passengers. Earlier in January, the U.S. Transportation Department had said it planned to seek higher penalties from airlines and others that broke consumer protection rules. Canada has announced that it has opened an investigation into the US-based software firm behind ChatGPT. The investigation into OpenAI has been opened in response to a complaint alleging the collection, use, and disclosure of personal information without consent. Launched in November, OpenAI's chatbot uses information available online to provide detailed answers to users' queries. Artificial intelligence chips from Qualcomm have beaten NVIDIA in 2 out of 3 measures of power efficiency. NVIDIA, however, took the top spot in both absolute performance terms and power efficiency terms. The latest testing data has been published by ML Commons, an engineering consortium that maintains testing benchmarks widely used in the AI chip industry. Reports say Apple will soon remove support from the iOS 11, macOS High Sierra, watchOS 4, and tvOS 11 operating systems. Devices running these systems will lose support for almost all the services that Apple offers. The iCloud service, however, will still be operational. In sports, Karim Benzema struck a hat-trick as Real Madrid thrashed arch rivals and league leaders Barcelona 4-0 last evening. With this spectacular win, the Whites are now through to the Copa del Rey final. Madrid will fancy their chances of winning the trophy for a 20th time when they face Osasuna in the final. Frank Lampard has agreed to take over as Chelsea's interim manager. This will be Lampard's second stint managing the club. He previously led the club between July 2019 and January 2021. The 44-year-old is Chelsea's all-time top scorer with 211 goals. The development comes as the club's owners continue their search for a candidate to replace Graham Potter. Potter was sacked on Sunday after just 31 games in charge. England and Brazil are hoping to use their inaugural Finalissima to learn more about their squads in the build-up to the upcoming Football Women's World Cup. Both countries are hoping to test against top opposition will teach them more about their sides heading into the tournament. The Football Women's World Cup is only 3.5 months away. Nearly 900 Liverpool fans who attended last year's Champions League final in Paris have filed legal action against European football's governing body. The suit has been filed for personal injuries allegedly caused by chaos outside the venue. The governing body has apologized after initially blaming Liverpool fans for the mayhem. Re-elected UEFA chief Alexander Sefrinin has said it would be very hard to lift Russia's suspension until the war in Ukraine ends. Both UEFA and World Football's governing body FIFA decided in February 2022 that all Russian teams will be suspended from participation. Most international sports federations have excluded athletes from Russia and its ally Belarus since the Ukraine invasion. In cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders and Royal Challengers Bangalore are set to lock horns at Kolkata's Eden Gardens later today. KKR have not got off to the best of starts in their IPL 2023 campaign. They lost their opening encounter against Punjab Kings by 7 runs. RCB, however, got their tournament off to a great start with an emphatic win over Mumbai Indians. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. IST. 5 top Indian cricketers have been awarded life membership of the prestigious Marylebone Cricket Club. They're MS Dhoni, Yuvraj Singh, Suresh Raina, Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami. The London-based Marylebone Club, which frames the rules of the game, awards honorary life membership to some of the finest men and women to have played the game. India's London Olympic bronze medalist Sania Nehwal has crashed out of the Orléans Masters badminton tournament. Nehwal suffered a straight-game first-round loss to Turkey's Neslihan Yigit. It's not all despair for India though. Shuttlers Mithun Manjunath, Priyanshu Rajawat, Akarshi Kashyap and Tanya Hemant have progressed to the second round of the tournament. In a first, 11-year-old Syrian refugee Hussein Besu will play for the German national chess team. This will be at the Mitropa Cup in Croatia later this month. The feat makes Besu the youngest German national player in the history of the German Chess Federation. Besu won first place in Germany's Under-10 competition in 2020 and third place in the World Under-12 Championship last year. Michael Jordan's shoes from his 1998 Last Dance season are expected to be the most valuable sneakers ever sold at auction. These are the 1998 NBA Finals Game 2 Air Jordan 13s. The shoes were worn in Game 2 of the 1998 NBA Finals, where Jordan scored 37 points. They were projected to sell for between $2 to $4 million, but already have a bid nearly over the high estimated price. They're considered to be in remarkable condition with big silver signatures by Jordan. Period drama film Jean du Barry will open the Cannes Film Festival. It stars Johnny Depp as King Louis XV. The film will have its Cannes premiere on the 16th of May. It will also be released simultaneously in French cinemas. Comedy musical film School of Rock is planning a 20th anniversary reunion for its cast members. Actor Jack Black, who played a music teacher in the film, confirmed the news. He said that he's looking forward to seeing all of the grown-ups from the film. It's not confirmed yet whether the reunion will be a film or simply a get-together. 4 cast members have been announced for the series Welcome to Derry. The show is a prequel to the supernatural horror film franchise It. The show will star Taylor Page, Giovanna Defoe, Chris Chalk and James Remar. It will explore the origins of Pennywise the Clown. K-pop band 17 have announced their 10th mini-album. Titled FML, the album will release on the 24th of April. It comes 9 months after the band's last album, Sector 17. The band have also announced an exhibition titled 17th Street. The exhibition will take place in Seoul from the 4th to the 16th of April. Korean singer Lisa made history with 2 of her songs. She has become the first K-pop soloist to have 2 songs cross 300 million streams on Spotify. Her song Money has over 663 million streams, while the song La Lisa has just hit the 300 million mark. The 70th edition of the Sydney Film Festival has unveiled its first selection of 12 films. These include 7 feature films and 5 documentaries. The rest of the selection will be announced on the 8th of May. The festival will take place from the 7th to the 18th of June. Italy's Far East Film Festival has unveiled the lineup for its 25th edition. The film festival is the largest of its kind in Europe to showcase Asian films. 78 Asian films from 14 countries will be showcased at the festival this year. It takes place from the 21st to the 29th of April. The official documentary of the 2022 Winter Olympics will open the Beijing International Film Festival. Titled Beijing 2022, the documentary will have its world premiere at the festival. The festival is scheduled between the 22nd and the 29th of April. This will mark the festival's return to in-person format after 3 years of the pandemic. Actor Jason Momoa's movie Minecraft has locked its release date. The live-action film will hit theaters on the 4th of August 2025. Minecraft is an adaptation of the popular video game of the same name. The film will be directed by Jared Hess. Actor Sam Page has joined the cast of the medical drama series Grey's Anatomy. He's been cast in a recurring role. Page will make his series debut as Air Force pilot Sam Sutton in the episode titled Come Fly With Me. The episode will air on the 4th of May.
The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.